My name is Kalbang Afsa Walshak. I do almost everything. I have gifted hands. So anything my eye see and my hand dares to touch, I will do. I'm a farmer. I have a dog. I love dogs. We love dogs as a family. I'm a seamstress, an actress, an MC. I can bake. I can... Let's just leave the list like that. Let it hang there. Yeah. 6 years, going on 7. I have 4 children. Yeah. Growing up was... Looking back now, growing up was actually beautiful. Beautiful in the sense that everything that has made this woman is what I had to experience while I was growing up. So now more than ever, I understand that it wasn't exactly a coincidence. And I wasn't singled out for whatever it was that I thought. Well, I was an orphan. I was orphaned early. My mom died when I was a few months to being 5. Then 4 years later, my dad died as well. You know, so from the warmth of a nuclear family, I had to live with different people at different points in time. There was a time I was moved to Ibadan. I was supposed to be taken to school. The person that picked me from home said I was very intelligent, I was a nice girl. He was going to take me to school in Ibadan, a very good school. Yeah, I went there, I was taken to school. I saw the school, I liked the school as well. Then they gave the bill. He said the bill was too much. He would rather sink it into his personal project than pay my fees with the money. Then that was 3,320 naira. I don't forget. So he kept me at home in his house. I wasn't alone actually. There were 2 of us he picked. So we were there reciting times table from 2 times 1, 2 till I think I got to 17 times table, something like that. You know. Then we barely ate twice a day. It was not a diet we were used to. I was very unhappy. I was supposed to be in SS1 then. I was not in school. I was doing nothing. So I preferred to go back to the village and continue with my village school. Well, but I couldn't go. So I attempted to run away and go back home. But the man got wind of it and he wouldn't let me go. So he traveled out of the country. Then he kept me in charge he kept me under someone's care, someone who is in charge of his, let me call it ministry. So I was with the man and his family. The man had 3 children. I was with them. The wife was also selling toiletries, that's soap. Then in the 90s, it was truck soap and Artemis. So, you know, I used to sell soap in Ibadan. My mates were in school. I was selling soap from garage to garage. I was exposed to several things, several kinds of sexual harassment, but thank God, somehow I was there like that. From morning, like 6:30, I'd be in the park selling till 3. From 3, I'll go on a 30-minute break. From 3:30, when I go back, I'll be relieved of my duties by 11 p.m. That's when I'll go back home, you know. It was like that. I came back home. While I was selling soap, you know, there was nobody covering. Yes, the woman in charge of the owner of the soap, she's always close by in one buka. She'll order her rice and stew. There will be roundabout, shaki, bomo, or rishi on top, yes. with very chilled bottle of Coke, you know, that kind of Coke where they sweat. She'll be eating and be making sure that her money is complete while I'll be in the sun. And you know, the men then, they will just look at me and, okay, this one, there's nobody that is actually really protecting her. One of them walked up to me. It was like, I like you. I would like to be sleeping with you. And don't get worried. If you get pregnant, I know where you'll be taken to, and then you get an abortion. I just need your consent. Yeah, it was that blunt. I got several of them, but I would quietly walk away, and then I would avoid those places. Yeah, it was okay. It's something that you would call a very hard life for a little girl like me then. But seeing who I am today, I don't know how I would have become this if I hadn't been exposed to all those kind of hardship. Yeah. You know, like I said, I was orphaned early in life. My siblings, that's my elder ones, I'm the last child from 4 children. So I had elder ones who were struggling to survive. You know, my elder sister was in the university. My elder brother was in school as well, higher institution, was in the polytechnic. And I had just finished secondary school, you know. And back then, you know, it was nothing. Every other girl had a boyfriend and all that. And, you know, it was just, it's somehow, you know, somehow, sorry. I just hope I don't break down, please. I was young. I didn't exactly know things that I think, or now looking back, I should have known. And there was this guy, you know, he was like, he liked me very much. I really didn't like him. He was like, you know, I mean well for you. I really like you and all that. He's quite older. I really like you. I mean well for you. I hope that we'll settle down in future and all that. So I was like, fine. I have an elder cousin. He persuaded me. He was like, is there all these small boys that you like, that you don't even know what the future holds for you and all? And I said, fine. So I tried to date him, but I just didn't like the guy. So I was just there, you know. I was like, you know, there's distance. I had just finished secondary school and everything. I was at home waiting for WAEC result. That was in those days that the wait for WAEC is usually longer than the period of pregnancy. So I was at home then. On this particular occasion, he was like, he wasn't feeling fine. I said sorry. Then another cousin of mine just came that, go and greet him. He's a guy. Actually, they are friends. And so I went. Well, I won't go into the details of whatever, but the truth is, I went in there to greet a sick person, but I came out pregnant. I don't know, I just felt it. I just felt I was pregnant. At that point, I was in choir. I was doing well. I was like one of the lead singers at that point in church. I was really happy in church. Then I discovered that in fact, I just couldn't, the guilt, I just couldn't get over it. I just knew that something had changed about me. I just couldn't place my hands on it. I was very sorry. I cried. I kept on begging God. I said, please forgive me. Don't just let this thing get out of hand. I felt that there was something different. I cried. I begged. I wrote a song. I just felt that God wasn't just forgiving me, if not, He won't let anything happen to me. But, well, a few weeks later, I just discovered that I was sleeping too long. I was easily nauseated, though I didn't used to throw up and all that. I just realized that I started becoming, naturally I'm a little bit light-skinned, but it was like I was bathing with honey. I just knew. I was devastated. I was about to rewrite my SSC again. SSC was just 2-3 months away. It was hard. I was staying with my mom's younger sister. To say that she would be disappointed is an understatement, or was an understatement. I didn't know what to do. I was young. My friend, everyone. I didn't know what to say to my pastor. I left my auntie's house. I went back to one of my uncle's house. I was there. It was hard. I would cry and sleep and wake up in the morning to go and write my SSCE. I think I was already 6 weeks gone. Then one of my aunties now confronted me. She said, "Kalbang, you're pregnant." And I kept quiet. She now said, "It's all over your body." Then she now said, "What do you intend to do about it?" I said, "I'm keeping the baby." I was 18. She said, "What do you know?" And she knows the guy's family. She said, "Do you think he's going to marry you?" I said, "Even if he's not marrying me, I'm going to keep the baby." She called an aunt of mine. I struggled through school. My secondary school then. We were wearing wrapper, a blouse and hair tie. I think my uniform cost like 110 naira per yard. I needed like 3 yards. But there was practically nobody to buy for me. And then my auntie was living in wealth. She had never for once bought me 40 leaves exercise book. But she called. She spent her money. Then it was Nitel. She called the house where I was staying. She said I should have bought the baby. I told her no, I wasn't. She said, "What do I know? That I'm a small child. I know nothing." I said, where am I going to get money to take care of the baby? I should think of my life. I'm just an orphan. Everything is going to stop. I said, "Okay, if I'm going to abort the baby, I don't even have the money." She said that even if it was going to cost 10,000 naira, she was going to pay. Back then, 10,000 was big money. I said no. She was with her friend, another of my aunt. That one said, "Why don't you want to abort the baby?" I told her. I said, "God is not going to be happy with me." In fact, I told her that God had told me, He had shown to me that if I abort the baby, I'm going to die. She said, when she realized that, okay, this child has a grip on something. She said to me that Jesus, sorry, let me just put it in Hausa, it sounds better. She said, Yesu yazudu masuzunu biba. I said, yes. She said, Yenzu kinyi zunu bin zinaba. I said, yes. Kina de chiki. I said, yes. She said, Kibiki karasa zunu bin kawai. Say Yesu ya yafe ki gaba daya. That's okay. Just kukuma finish all the sin. You've done the sin of fornication. Now you're pregnant. Just finish the sin by aborting it so that God will forgive you once and for all. I said no. They said I was very stubborn. I agreed. Yes, it was hard. How will I face church? I was happy singing in church. In fact, I now went to my pastor. I told him I was pregnant. My pastor wept. It was heartbreaking. He told me to keep the baby. It was like one of the most difficult decisions of my life. The worst part was not even keeping the baby. The most difficult part was when the people that meant well, the guy that was supposed to that was saying that he meant well for me. When he was told I was pregnant, he sent a letter and told me that I should abort the pregnancy for my own good. That means at that point, I was on my own. And I insisted no. It was, my parents were not alive. It would have been easy. My parents were not clergy. It would have been easy. But no, it wasn't. I was already a mouth that was needing food, and I was bringing an extra mouth to feed. And the guy now, he told me face to face that he wasn't ready to father a child. Since I had refused to abort the pregnancy, Oyo would be my case. I went home broken, devastated. Well, I'm grateful for my uncle's wife. After he had told me that in person, that was like the final blow of rejection. I wanted to take my life. I wanted to just end everything, Nothing made sense anymore. They had bought 1 gallon of kerosene. I knew where it was. I wanted to just drink like half. My uncle's wife, I'm grateful. She was sensitive. She just sensed, and she walked into me and said, "He has rejected you, but we haven't rejected you. You're just pregnant. It's not the end of the world. It's just a phase. It will pass. Don't worry. You made the right decision." And that was the message of hope that I got. My cousins, they were just so Haber wash my clothes, Haber wash my clothes. She wouldn't even treat me as if I was pregnant at all. She's one crazy person who shook, they won't let me do so much hard work at home, and everything. Baba was, they made the journey easy. They made the journey easy. And I had a very beautiful baby girl. Very beautiful. Very beautiful. In fact, my uncle's wife, she bathed the baby for like 1 whole month. She won't even let me touch the baby to bath her. They stood by me, my elder sister, my brothers, my cousins. Wonderful family, They just stood by me. And sincerely, the initial problem was, when you're walking around and everybody's seeing you pregnant and all. Hey, wow. Hey. She don't carry. Well, after I had the baby, everybody forgot. It was almost as if I went somewhere and they dashed me the baby. Well, the truth is, I'm sure, like I said, somebody told me I should go and just join all the sin and sin them at once, so that God will just kukuma forgive me once. It's not true. First advice I'll give is abstain from sex. That's the truth. Premarital sex. You're not married. You have no business sleeping with a boy. You don't have any business. But peradventure, it has happened. The best thing is to keep the child. That's the best. Is to keep the baby. Children are gifts. And I'll not tell you what my baby has done. She has colored my life. In fact, I have friends that there was a day I took her to the bank to open an account for her. The person in charge of opening the account was like, wow. She looked at her. Then she was just 11. She looked at her and said that she was pregnant at the time that this child was born as well. That someone helped her and they aborted the pregnancy. That look at her now. That she regrets every bit of it. That had she kept her baby, she would have had something. She would have had a baby to look at now. The pressure will always pass. Ogaju told me something. He said, there is nothing under the sun that doesn't pass. Nothing. The pressure is usually intense. They will jam-pack your brain. But you're pregnant. Keep the baby. You should be happy that heaven has trusted you with a child. There are many people, husband and wife, sleeping with each other, and they are not seeing children to carry. But you sinned, but heaven will give you that gift, that means you are responsible. You can be responsible for something. And the truth is, children are gifts. God will never give you what He can't help you take care of. There's always light out at the end of the tunnel. Forget the pressures. Yeah, I know a lot of church folks are even into abortion and all that. It is wrong. Let's call a spade and not a square spoon. It is wrong. There are many children, problem solvers, solution bringers. We are here shouting about the polity. How many of the people have been thrown away that are supposed to bring solution to this country? How many? Abortion doesn't take away the problem. It only compounds it. The guilt, the shame is still there. And with time, the pain compounds. That's the truth.